I love for somebody who has stayed at home or is a stay-at-home mom and has managed to keep the weight off to share what they've done, how they've coped, because somebody has to talk about this, guys. Honestly, like, I have been off from work for close to a good few months, almost 10 months, right? Okay, I mean going into the office because of, you know, whatever has happened to me recently. And I'm only just got back working, okay? And I have been doing a lot of moving around, but since I started work, I've realized how unfit I am or how much weight I piled on gradually. And to be honest, I'm not really being hard on myself because I think I've done well considering. Like, people take 9 months off when they're having babies, right? I did not have a baby, but I took some time off, and wearing my clothes, I just feel like, I'm feeling the pinch of it now. Let me put it that way. But I see a lot of stay-at-home moms looking so snatched. They don't do anything. Can you guys share? Because for me, I'm the queen of eating right. But when you get older, things are not that easy. And I was just wondering that, how do people cope, you know, to keep themselves looking so good when they don't actually work? And what makes it worse is, excuse me, sorry, I'm moving the camera around. I'm actually away from home. I'm staying in an accommodation where I spent the night. It's just a small dig, like an apartment. It's very close to work. So I'm going back in and I've not got much time, so I'll be doing my makeup really fast and talking to you guys. But yeah, I just thought that it'll be really nice to find out from those of you who, you know, have managed to keep the weight off, to really share what you've done, because it seems almost impossible, you know, to be like this if you don't move. I used to walk and all that, but it's even a different mindset, because when you're idle, there are few things to think about apart from food, especially if you're somebody who loves food in the first place. And I can say that I love food. So yeah, I see women daily who have never worked, but they look so good. They don't even exercise. What is the secret? What people should share? No gatekeeping. What's the secret? Anyway, hello. That was very rude of me. I did not even introduce this video. I was actually hoping to talk to you guys about something, okay? Still linked to women, okay? I was hoping to have a conversation that nobody seems to want to have, okay? I don't really think that the light here is good even for me. I can't really see what I am working with. So, the lighting in this apartment is not great. I'll show you guys a very quick tour. That's the bathroom. That's the bathroom. It's not bad. That's the kitchenette, kitchen area. It's got a microwave, a fridge, freezer. In fact, that reminds me, the only thing here is my water. This girl is trying to be good. That's my makeup stuff. That's a cupboard. I have to take my coats out of there. Whew, I've got 15 minutes to leave this apartment, right? And I really want to have that's my box over there. I'll sort that out. And that's where I slept. And I've got a TV. It's not a bad apartment, actually. Very high ceilings. But that's not why I put this camera up. I need to very, very quickly make up, okay? I need to do it. Let me get a mirror. And we're going to have a chat in a minute, okay? So what I want to talk about is, why are people extremely hard on women? Okay, that's very broad, and you say, what are you talking about, madam? Let me tell you guys what I'm talking about, okay? Constantly in life, right, when you're born, there are several expectations from us, okay? Expectations that just come with being a woman, being born a different gender from men. And if it's only expectations, I don't have a problem with that. What I have a problem is pressure and judgment. I have a major problem with pressure and judgment. Let's start from young girls, okay? Being a young girl, I have 2 of each, okay? And like it or not, I always naturally get my daughter to be a bit more interested in the kitchen. If I tell you that I know why, I'll be lying. But my boys are not that bothered, and I've got a bigger boy who doesn't even enter the kitchen. And to be honest, I can say that I don't really give him that much headache. Yes, we do a lot of these things very, very unconsciously. We don't do it deliberately, right? But we do it. And sometimes when I'm kind of hard on her, I'm asking her to get more involved in the kitchen, and I can see that she doesn't want to. And what I tell her is, you know, tomorrow you get married, you will not be able to cook. And I just listen to myself, and it sounds ridiculous. And these kids nowadays, they're so vocal, and she's like, what about my brother? Are you not interested in him learning as well how to do stuff? And when she said that to me, it kind of hit me, and I said, oh my God, even in 2025, we still make this mistake unconsciously to label jobs that we feel is for men and for women. And we do it we don't even realize that we do it. And I think that's only the beginning of a girl child's problem. They grow up older, they are expected to deal with all sorts of natural things. Being a woman, they start to see the periods, they have a lot of pain, they have to be a lot more conscious, cleaner. In fact, it just doesn't stop. And their male counterparts literally get away with a lot. And let's even move further down the line. They become a woman. They're expected to have kids. Nobody tells them, nobody talks about infertility. You know, they just grow up like my little girl who is still a tiny baby, my last child. Yes, my daughter, who is my last, is so obsessed about kids. And she's like, oh, mommy, I want to have 4 kids. And bless her soul, there's nothing wrong with that. But who has ever had a conversation to say, although I would love her to have kids, I wish she knew early on that it's not just automatic. Women go through challenges having kids because we are never told this, right? And soon she'll be a career woman, because I want her to be a career woman, and she'll have to go through all sorts of battles. I'm not wishing anybody anything negative, but there are several stages, unfortunately, in a woman's life that the men will never ever have to go through or even understand. They'll never. And it just occurred to me that I wish a lot of us spoke more about these challenges that we face, because we could prepare our daughters to the real life. We could prepare them to know that life is not always going to be as it's meant to go. There will be challenges, there will be times that things don't go as planned, there will be issues of infertility, miscarriages, stillbirths. After that, after having kids, weight, maybe fibroids, maybe, sorry, I have to be doing this at the same time. And then before you know it, we're talking about things like talking about menopause or perimenopause. It just doesn't stop. But we are under so much pressure and nobody talks about it. Why? Why don't we talk about our struggles like women? Why are we not more open about what we go through? Why do most of our daughters only know that there's something like a miscarriage after they've had it? I have all these questions and I would really love answers, but it just struck me today while I was getting ready, and just the challenges of how I have put on weight. You know, normally I feel this way whenever I go back to work after having kids, but the fact that I've not had kids this time is just very, very, very strange, and I just thought I'll have a chat and find out, are you talking to your daughters already? And do you think that society is a bit too hard on women generally? Do you think so? You know, do you think that we are constantly having to take on a lot more than we should? You know, if we're going to be women, then the men should be men. That's my argument. And don't come and tell me that the women want to be women. A lot of women are women because the men don't step up. That is just what I think. But generally, we women, I beg of all of us that we should be much more vocal about the challenges that we face as a gender of this sort. Yes, we should be a lot more vocal, and we should not demonize things. We should not demonize infertility. We should not put women under pressure. It's okay to go for a surrogate. It's okay to do IVF. You don't have to. And then it's just one aspect. You get pregnant, you bring the kids in, and then not everybody can have natural births. And some women even start feeling like less of women because they don't have a natural birth, because they've had cesareans. I'm an example. I've had 4 cesareans, and guess what? I have never felt any more feminine in my life than I feel now. So trust me, nobody's gonna make me feel like because you did not push a baby out, you're not a woman. We need to really, really be a lot more understanding, tolerant, patient, loving, caring, and less judgmental to women out there. Anyway, I'm running really late. I'm going to the office, and I'm going to see you guys later on today when I get home. I'll carry on with this vlog. I decided to just start this when I had this thought fresh in my mind, and I'll see you guys in a bit. I'll show you guys when I'm done, okay? See you, I'm running really late. I managed to leave my accommodation on time, get into the car before getting a ticket. Oh my god, I think I've forgotten my smartwatch. Oh my god. Sugar. Okay, I'm going to email the guys who... See you guys later. Gosh. There is no better feeling than the end of a week in the office. I'm going home. This has been my first week at my new job. I'm happy that I've survived it. I'm happy I've survived the week after not working for so long. I'll tell you guys all about my week. I'm walking to the car park and I feel really happy. It's Friday tomorrow. I'm working from home. So I have survived it. Yay! I've survived my first week back at work. It must be very windy. The sound must be bad. So I'll talk to you guys later. I have survived my first week in the office after almost a year of not working. So I'm on my way now to the car. Talk to you guys later.